Hello, my name is Queen Bee, and I'm a sex and intimacy coach, and my life definitely did not start that way. So I grew up in Houston with a Christian family, and I remember 3 things that my mom told me about sex. One of them was they had sex 3 times because there's 3 children, that no one should touch me in my bathing suit parts, and when I was in 6th grade, I was wearing a sundress to school and I wasn't wearing pantyhose, and she said, "You look like a slut." So that was my introduction to sex. And then it wasn't even until high school that I learned that the penis enters the vagina, and that's what sex is. And my introduction to sexuality was with one of my first boyfriends who forced me to suck his cock and physically shoved his hand in my vagina when I was saying no and trying to stop him. Fasting actually all the way to 28 years old. So I went to a festival, Burning Man Festival, and I went to a workshop which was called Orgasmic Meditation. It's a 15-minute clit stroking practice. And you can imagine with that kind of history that I was just completely petrified to even go into this dome. And I had just found a guy that day who was willing to be my partner in this workshop, in which it was a clit stroking practice. So when I got in there, there was a demonstration, and there was a woman that had her pants off and with her legs splayed and her vagina just out there for everyone. And her partner was stroking her clitoris. And we were supposed to say out loud what we were feeling in our bodies while we were watching it. So everyone else is like, turned on, ooh, yeah, yum, because she's like really into it and it's feeling pleasurable for her. And I was terrified. I couldn't say out loud what I was feeling, because what I was feeling was pain and terror. And I was like, is someone gonna help that girl? It's hurting her. Why, what's going on? So my body, I mean, I can still feel the fear of that. So we transitioned in the workshop to where I would lay down with my partner, who I just met that day, and which he proceeded to do the proper procedure. And when he touched his finger on the head of my clit, it felt like a piece of glass that was like scraping down my skin. And I was just like, ah. And we had the facilitator come over and help us, and she instructed him to, instead of touching my clit, and he did it very gently, he was doing everything right, to just stroke the clit with like air, just like barely touching it. And with some breathing and with this process, he eventually was able to start touching and stroking my clit, and I experienced an orgasm, and I realized it was the first time, I was 20 years old, it was the first time that my clitoris was ever touched. Because I thought that my clit was my urethra. So my whole sexual experience was telling men, you can't touch me there, that's my urethra. It hurts, don't touch there, don't touch there, don't touch there. So I'm really happy I found my clit. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you, thank you. I have a lovely clit, it's amazing. And then the next day I did a more advanced workshop. It was a tantric workshop, and I had this really powerful sexual experience in which I had 4 men around me, and in ecstatic bliss, I realized for the first time, I had like this explosion of like, I am a woman and I have sexual desire and I love sexual pleasure and it feels so good, and I was just like totally liberated. And for the first time in my life, I had all this experience with no shame, no pain, and no embarrassment, and I just owned my sexual energy. So So now I have the opportunity of working with people who experience shame, confusion, pain, embarrassment, repression around sexuality, and I am the guide for them to step through that portal if they so choose to experience what I call as liberation, connection, love, pleasure, fun, freedom. And for me, experiencing this sexual liberation is not just about my sexuality, it's my creativity, it's my confidence, it's who I am in the world. And so I have gratitude for my boyfriend when I was 16, and I have gratitude for my parents for exactly how everything worked out so that I can be this person whose purpose in this world is to end global sexual shame.